everyone, welcome back. Rebecca Jean here with Style My Sweets. Today I have some really fun Dollar Tree DIY decor for spring to share with you guys. These are all spring decor, spring room decor, home decor, and lots of spring crafts, spring wreaths. I have a spring topiary and other just spring decor DIYs using items from the Dollar Tree. So I hope that you guys will enjoy these. Please give this video a thumbs up if you do enjoy, and as always, I love hearing from you guys which one of these was your favorite or if you're going to be recreating any of these. And let's go ahead and get started. Getting started with the first DIY, I'm going to be making a spring wreath. I also have a really fun spring topiary and some bunny themed wreaths and wall decor, so I can't wait to share those with you guys later on in this video. I'm taking an 18-inch wreath frame from Dollar Tree along with some leftover ribbon, so you could use whatever you have for this. I'm just using up one that I had laying around that I have no other plan for, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna just use it as a base for this wreath. And you honestly, you don't even need to cover the whole wreath, just basically you want to kind of cover about half the form, you know, just so you have kind of something to glue your flowers onto or to tuck the stems in between. So I just wrapped this all the way around the wreath, and as you can see, I did leave some spaces in there. Now once that's finished, I just glued it again at the end here. So I actually have 3 different types of pink flowers here. The majority are 2 different types, peonies, and then I think these are mums or asters. And then I did have these other ones that, I don't know, they kind of look like zinnias or something to me. I don't know what Dollar Tree is calling them, but I could only find 1 bouquet of those, so I don't have many. But I did also grab some of these little glitter berry flower things, and Dollar Tree has lots of these in different colors for spring. So I grabbed some pink ones, and I'm gonna do a whole bunch of pink on this wreath. So I basically started by taking this first set of pink flowers and grouping them in 2. So I have kind of one facing more toward the inside of the wreath, one facing more to the outside of the wreath, and I just did them kind of side by side together like this all the way around. And I did try to space them out evenly before I glued them in place so that I had an idea where they were going to be going. And then I spaced out some of these little darker pink ones here that I just had 1 bouquet of, and I'm going to kind of see where I want those. But before I glue them in, I'm going to go ahead and add those peonies in now, which I basically did kind of on both sides of the first flowers that I added in here. And then I came back with those pink glitter berries, and I'm adding those in between the other flower bunches and clusters of flowers. And that's basically all I did for this. I just glued everything on into place. You can actually kind of bend your flower stems if you want, so that you can add a little glue and then kind of tuck them underneath behind the ribbon. That'll also help hold it in place. But just gluing these onto the ribbon and tucking them in, I filled in all the way around, leaving a little space at the bottom here. You could obviously just go all the way around with this, use a few extra flowers, and fill it in. For me, I thought it would be fun to add a bow on here, so that is what I'm going to do. And for my bow, I'm starting with a nice big pile of deco mesh. So I basically just folded this over on itself, like 18 inches or so long, and then fold it back, and then fold it back to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, make a few folds, and then I just gathered it and tied it off in the center. And now I'm going to do another like little bow on top of that. Now for this one, I did it kind of with this rose gold mauve pink color. This one is actually from Hobby Lobby. I got it back at Christmas time, but you could get some pink ribbon from Dollar Tree as well in their spring section. So just use whatever works for you. I already had this, so I'm going to use that. I tied a little bow, and then I also took one of these sheer pink ribbons, also from Dollar Tree's spring section, and I love this shiny pretty. It's like a sheer light blush pink with a shiny edge to it. So pretty. So I just layered these on here as a beautiful bow, and that pretty much completes the look. I think this is just absolutely so pretty.
I've been waiting all my life for something. I've been down the darkest roads and up in the clouds, but I've always felt that something's missing. That was until I found you right there in the crowd.
Now, on to the next one. I have a little bunny wall decor art, and I really like how this turned out. I think it was actually really cute and so creative because we're using a wooden ornament, this wooden wall decor piece from Dollar Tree, left over from Christmas time, and it is in the ornament shape, and I never got around to using it, so I'm going to paint that with my white chalk paint. And then I'm also painting two of these large jumbo popsicle stick things, these little wooden craft sticks. Actually, they're not little, they're like about a foot long. They are from Walmart and they're very affordable there. You get a whole big pack of them for just a couple dollars. So I'm going to take two of those and then paint them as well. And these are going to be the bunny's ears. So I just glued these sticking up to the back of the ornament. That's going to be his face. Now, the center of those ears, I did add a little pink chalk paint. I'm going to do that. And then I had this sign, Let It Snow. This actually came off of one of the Christmas wooden sled ornaments. If you guys remember that from Dollar Tree at Christmas time, I had this left over laying around and I was like, what am I going to do with this thing? And it turned out to be the perfect thing for this. If you don't have that, you don't really need it, or you could also just substitute and, use something else that you might have laying around, cut a piece of cardboard. I mean, be creative, but we are going to use that in a minute. So I painted that sign. I'm also going to paint an upside down triangle right in the center as his nose. And then I painted the top half of the ornament for his face with, I believe the color was called Castle, and it's kind of like a grayish brown. It has a little bit of brown, but it's more gray with some chalk paint and also on the outside of his ears. So I have pink in the center of his ears and for his nose. And then I'm going to add his mouth on here. You could just use a black Sharpie. I'm using a black Sharpie paint pen marker. I really like how these write, and they are linked in my Amazon storefront. I'll try to link it down below as well if you guys are looking for these. But honestly, I think they work better than a Sharpie because they're more like a paint pen. And I'm just going to draw a little smile on here. And I'm going to do kind of like an open mouth smile. So we're going to give him two front teeth and then make a little spot for his little pink tongue and use my pink chalk paint in there as well. And then I kind of made two large white sections here with chalk paint to do his eyes. And I just did a little detailing on here. So I never drew a bunny before. This is my first time. So anyway, bear with me. It was a little tricky. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted, but that's the fun part about crafting is, just have fun with it. And if you mess up and it's not coming out how you want, you can always kind of paint over it. And I did that in a few spots where I needed to make something a little larger or a little smaller. I would just add some paint, cover my mistake, and then try again. So take your time and have fun with this. Now I'm going to add kind of like a little collar down here and use that little snow sign that we already painted pink, so that's dried, and I'm just going to write Happy Spring on here. I thought that would be really cute. The final thing I wanted to add was just taking some cotton balls, really simple and easy, and I just kind of pulled them apart just to get a real like a pile of fluff here, and I added a little glue on top in between his ears, and plus this kind of covers that part that was sticking up that actually makes it look like a Christmas ornament. So we're going to cover that whole section up and give him a whole fuzzy tuft of bunny hair on top of his head with these white cotton balls. And I think it's just a really super cute finishing touch and a very adorable piece of Easter or spring wall decor. You could hang this on your door as a wreath, whatever you like. Now on to the next one. I'm going to do a spring topiary. A friend of mine gave me one a couple years ago, and I've gotten so many requests for where did I get that or how did I make it that I thought, you know what, I'm going to make another one and actually do this as a little DIY here, especially because I already had one of these styrofoam cones from Dollar Tree. The cone is from Dollar Tree, and so is that green styrofoam floral foam. So I'm just going to glue these together. They actually fit together really nicely, so you kind of have an extended cone shape. So it'll be $2 to make that, and I already had all the flowers on hand. So I'm going to use some pink roses. The only thing I needed to pick up for this were these Easter eggs, and I actually really like these that come on a stick. So I will show you guys that in a second, but it makes it a lot easier than needing glue. So what I did for this, I did need to use glue in order to glue on, I think this is reindeer moss. I think that's what they call this. But I just took some of this loose moss stuff from Dollar Tree. You'll probably need 1 bag of it. This bag was already like half gone, so I had to open another one, but you'll need probably 1 bag of this and then a couple bouquets of whatever flowers you like. So I already had the pink roses, and basically I just add some glue onto my foam cone here and just glued on all of that moss. And then I stuck in all of my roses and flowers and spaced them out, and you don't need to fill it in completely because you're going to be adding your eggs into here. Now I tried these a couple different ways, so you can glue in the ones that come in a little baggie. You could glue in the Easter eggs, which Dollar Tree has tons of choices for Easter eggs, or they also had the ones that come as like a floral bouquet. Those have kind of a long floppy stem, so those are a little tricky. I think they're going to be too difficult to stick in here. So my preference are the ones that come on these long wooden skewer sticks, and I just broke them, leaving like 1 inch long, so they just had like 1 inch wooden stick, just enough to kind of press and stick into that styrofoam. And honestly, it worked beautifully. You don't even need to glue anything, just stick them all in to the styrofoam in between the flowers and fill in your topiary. And this is really pretty, just like this. For my base now, I honestly was debating a couple different ways of doing this, and one option is taking one of the glass Dollar Tree candle holders. You could glue this right onto the bottom and just use it like that. You could paint the base, whatever color will fit with your decor. I also tried a couple other things using like this glass jar from Dollar Tree along with one of the little trinket trays and created a little stand for it just like this. But do whatever works for you. They have clay pots as well. You could try it with a clay pot. So there's a lot of options, and basically I don't like one more than another. I think they all work. So use whatever is going to look the best with your decor and whatever looks the best to you. But anyway, I really love how this little topiary came out, and I think it's so cute for Easter and so cute for springtime. Now, moving on to the next one, I think this one turned out really fun. I love how adorable it turned out. The first concept is just taking 2 of these, I think these are called willow wreaths, and I'm taking 2 of them, a smaller one and a larger one, and I'm going to be attaching them together using a little bit of glue and some leftover burlap ribbon. Now, I actually did this a year or 2 ago, and I made a bunny wreath, but I think I like this even better. This year, I did it a little different, and I think this one just turned out so cute. So what I ended up doing now was taking apart some of these green leaves from Dollar Tree. I used about 1.5 bunches, less than 2 bunches of leaves. I had leaves left over. And then I used, I think, 3 bunches of white roses and 3 bunches of this very subtle light pink. It's almost like an off-white rose, like white and off-white. And I just cut all of these so that I had just a little bit of a stem left so that I could stick that with some glue into the willow wreaths. Now I'm going to go ahead and start by adding in some of these leaves, and basically I just kind of stick them into the spaces in those willow wreaths, space them out, and just add hot glue just to keep them in place there. But they stick really nicely right into the wreath frame. And then I filled in with the white and that kind of very light pastel blush pink rose. So there's a subtle hint of pink on here, but it's a lot of like creamy ivory colors, and I think it turned out really pretty like this. Now you could add more color for sure if you want to do pinks or purple, blue, yellows, whatever works for you. I honestly kept this a very neutral Easter wreath, very neutral spring decor with lots of whites and greens. This didn't take very long to make at all. It was honestly pretty quick and easy, and definitely a fun DIY. Now for the bunny's ears, I had some of this vine. I think I got this back in the fall time, but it has like little green and white berries on it. And I basically just kind of folded it in half to make like maybe an 18-inch long, like 1.5 foot long section. Cut that there, and then I kind of folded the whole thing in half and made an oval like this and shaped the bunny's ear. So I did that 2 times. One was just not that visible, so I think making it, 2 or 3 layers thick gives you a little bit, it makes the ear like a little more substantial. Now I did make a little hanger here just with a little loop of burlap ribbon, and then I glued my bunny's ears right there next to the burlap ribbon on the back of that top wreath there. And here is how my bunny wreath turned out. I think it would be so cute on a front door, just hanging on your wall somewhere. You could hang it on a door indoors, wherever you want to put this. I just think it's really cute, so fun for spring, and definitely great if you're looking for some more neutral spring decor or neutral Easter time decor. This is a really great option. Now the next one I actually did a little while ago, but I still wanted to share it with you guys because I am still using it. Now I did it back around Valentine's Day. However, it works beautifully for spring decor as well. I just took one of these Flower and Garden metal tins and sprayed that with some rose gold spray paint. And then I took a little more of that kind of mauve blush ribbon I showed you guys earlier that I got from Hobby Lobby, and then just cut some styrofoam pieces to stick down in the inside. Now I'm gonna fill this with pink roses because I did this back at Valentine's Day. However, you guys could do this with white roses, you could do this with yellow, or like a very pastel pink, whatever you'd like to use. So do this in the colors that work for you. I'm now going to fill in with some lamb's ear. This I also got in Hobby Lobby, and I didn't have to buy this. I actually had this one left over from some of my Christmas decor. But I mean, the lamb's ear, it's like a little fuzzy, soft green color. Of course, you guys know Dollar Tree has tons of greenery options as well. But if you want to, this one is from Hobby Lobby. I put the letters love in here, L-O-V-E. I got these also in Dollar Tree at Valentine's Day, and I think it looks really cute. But they're optional. You could take them out and just do the flowers and have a beautiful arrangement for spring like this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you did, consider subscribing before you go. I would love to have you. And as always, thank you so much for being here. I wish you a beautiful and blessed day, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye!